Good day, viewers. You're welcome to Bosol TV. I'm Akambi R.O. Mrs., a civic education teacher. Today we have a topic, traffic regulations. This topic is meant for senior secondary school 2, which is SS2 class. Now, when we talk about traffic regulations, what does it mean? Traffic regulations can be defined as the laws which control the behavior or actions of all road users to prevent accidents and allow free flow of traffic. Traffic regulations are rules made by the government and other authorities to direct, govern, and regulate the use of the roads by all road users. If I should ask here, who are the road users? Road users include the motorists, the pedestrians, the motorcyclists, and animals. The laws and rules which govern the flow of traffic and regulate human and vehicular movement on the road. Traffic on the road consists of vehicles, motorcycles, bicycles, pedestrians, and animals, as I've said earlier. Traffic regulations are therefore necessary to guide these road users on safety and orderliness on the road. It is expected of the road users to make use of the traffic signs, or let me call it the road signs, on the road so as to avoid unnecessary accidents on the road. This will lead me to some of the traffic regulations that are expected of the road users to follow while making use of the road. Number 1, motorists should never drink alcohol before and while driving. Also, motorists should not make or receive phone calls while driving. It is not normal for a motorist to be receiving call or making call while driving. Sometimes it might lead to accidents. Motorists should not overload. They should not take more than necessary. They should take the number of passengers according to the available space in their vehicle. Motorists should effectively use indicators for various movements. For example, if a motorist wants to park or he wants to take a U-turn, he should take the necessary precaution so as to avoid accidents. Motorists should strictly obey road signs. We have a lot of road signs meant for the road users. So it is expected of the motorists should follow those road signs. We have parking prohibited, we have U-turn, we have no U-turn, we have pedestrian crossing, and so on. So it is expected of the motorists should follow those rules so as to avoid accidents on the road. Also, seat belt should be worn every time motorists drive. Let's now look at the motorcyclist rules and regulations. It is expected of the motorcyclist to wear what we call a crash helmet and should not carry more than one passenger while plying the road. The use of crash helmets is to prevent their head from injury in case there is an accident on the road. Pedestrians should use road pavement while they walk on the road. Pedestrians should use pedestrian bridges where provided of zebra crossing points. We all know the zebra crossing points on the road. When you get to the road, you see a particular place marked with white paint. The essence of that is that anytime a pedestrian is trying to cross the road, he or she should ensure that they stay in that place. Once they place their legs on the pedestrian, or we call it zebra crossing points, the coming vehicle has to stop for them to be able to do what? To cross the road. Pedestrians should walk opposite traffic rather than backing it while they walk on the road. It's not normal for a pedestrian to back the coming vehicle in order to avoid accidents. We should walk opposite the traffic while walking on the road. Also, pedestrian crossing road should look left, right, and left again before crossing the road. You don't just cross the road as if an animal is crossing. As a pedestrian, you look left, you look right, and look left again before crossing the road. Motorists and cyclists should drive at speed limits. I believe you understand those road signs which I've explained this morning, that a pedestrian should look left, right, and left again before crossing the road, and anywhere the zebra crossing point is being made provision for, they should ensure they cross the road in such a place to avoid road accidents. Now we want to look at the road signs. Road signs are symbols which give necessary information to road users to avoid road accidents. Road signs are broadly divided into two. That is, these road signs that gives unnecessary information to the road users on the road is of two types. We have what we call regulatory signs, and we have what we call informative signs. I will look at each one after the other. Regulatory signs are also divided into two. Under that, we have prohibitive signs and we have a mandatory signs. Now, prohibitive signs. Prohibitive signs are signs that are often in red circles. Anytime you apply the road and you see something, a road sign in red circle, we call it prohibitive signs. We call it prohibitive signs. Examples of prohibitive signs, we have no U-turn, no parking, and stop, and some other ones. Now we have mandatory signs. These mandatory signs are signs that gives a kind of positive regulatory instructions on the road, and they are made in blue circles. Example, diversion ahead, roundabouts, one-way traffic, and so on. So anytime you are applying the road and you see a blue circle on the road, meaning that they are mandatory signs and it gives instructions on how to use the road. Remember, I said road signs are divided into two. We have regulatory signs and we have informative signs. And I said regulatory signs is also divided into two. We have prohibitive signs that are often in red circles, for example, U-turn, no parking, and stop. Then we have mandatory signs under regulatory sign, which are made of blue circles. And examples of that is diversion ahead, roundabouts, one-way traffic. Now let's look at the second one, which is informative signs. Informative signs are usually rectangular in shape, and they give guidance information such as pedestrian crossing, sharp bend, or sharp ahead, or slippery when wet, and so on. Now, in addition to the above categories of road signs, we have what we call traffic lights. Traffic lights make use of three main colors, which are green, amber, and red. Majority call it yellow, but officially it's called amber. Each color has what they stand for. Like the color red on the traffic lights means stop, while the amber color means wait, and the green color means go. So whenever you apply the road as a pedestrian or a motorist and you see a red light blinking, it's telling you that you should hold on, you stop, don't go, in order to avoid accidents. Then when you see an amber color flashing to you in the traffic, it shows you should get ready or wait. And the green color means move, go. That is that about the road signs. I believe today's class is interesting, and I believe you have gained one thing or the other on the traffic regulations and road signs. I would like you to subscribe to our page. See you next time. Bye.